Hello Igbos, hello Yorubas. This thing these old men called politicians are doing, a man who is 80 years saying he's 71, and you are listening to them still playing the tribal card. I am sorry for you guys. Did you hear what Obasanjo said in his speech 2 days ago about how Nigeria has never been this divided? Do you know the funny thing? When NSAS started, these old men saw that we're together and they decided to play the tribal card again. And a lot of us resisted it. I thought you all resist it. I didn't know that you people are still falling for this same thing. Is it that this tribal thing has been kept in our constitution or hidden in textbooks that we read while in school? See, it is the war against us. It's their war against our world. So if you think that because a Yoruba man is the one going in, or a Hausa man or a Igbo man, you think it's about tribe? These men, though from different tribes, they sit down, drink tea together. They eat together. They do everything together. But because they know that those whose blood still has the tribalism, the religious sentiment and everything in them, they still use it against you. Don't listen to these people. All these people telling you how Peter Obi is talking about tribalism, it's a lie. Peter Obi is not talking about tribe. He's not talking about he's not talking about tribe. He's not talking about religion. And that is why he kept telling you people not to vote him because he's an Igbo man. Do not vote him because he's a Christian. But vote him because he has the capacity to turn the fortunes of Nigeria around. Are you people not tired of being second-hand citizens outside the country? Whenever we travel out of Nigeria, what do we become? Second-hand. The jobs that in Canada, there are jobs that they give their people. They don't give it to outsiders until their people, or till the job do not have anybody in their place, in their vicinity that needs the job. That's why they will give it to foreigners. How long would we continue with all that we have? Nigeria is a blessed country. Nigeria is rich. This is not between the Igbos and the Yorubas. Don't let these people fool you. Okay, you who is supporting the Igbos, you who is supporting the Yoruba, who is making it. In fact, most Yoruba people, like I watched your comment on different blogs. I was disappointed. Are you still going to allow these people use you? Are you going to allow them? They don't care about you. They do not care one bit about you. Are you okay? Since they started being in government, what have they done for you and your family? You are still in the same level you are financially. Your account, has it increased? Since Tinubu won, has your account increased? You are thinking it's a joke until your children begin to ask you very important questions, right? Do you know how many times my kids have told me that we should leave Nigeria and travel out? If you see the way my kids are so tired, they're tired of this country. A lot. In fact, by the time I'm giving them one excuse, I know I'm trying to make excuse for Nigeria, they're giving me their own excuse. See, it's not like in those days where things were just the way they were. We didn't know what was going on. In those days, I don't think as a child I've ever prayed for Nigeria. But the other day, I told my son during morning devotion to pray. I overheard him praying for Nigeria. My son was praying for Nigeria, for the peace of Nigeria. He prayed for insecurity. And I don't think even when I was 15 years, I prayed for Nigeria. But my son is just 9. He was praying for Nigeria. So I don't understand. It's not a tribal thing. You guys should just know these people are using your head. They are using your brains, you know, because the NSAS were together as you know, a formidable force. As they were together, nobody could tear us apart. So they thought that when we use religion, when we use tribalism, they will fall for it. And the youth of Nigeria are gradually falling for that prank. I just got back from church and got to social media, started seeing things flying. I was like, what? Our youth still thinking like this? It is not about tribe. It is not about religion. You people should think through these things. These old men, what are they doing? Is it until God calls them to glory that they will leave all these political positions for people who are, you know, mentally fit to do it? Check this thing out now. Nigeria is too wealthy. We are too rich to continue being backward. The other day, a lawyer was comparing our legal system to that of Kenya, to that of Ghana. You all know that we have grown past that stage where we'll be compared. Do you know where Nigeria stands in Africa, in the Committee of Nations? Do you know where Nigeria stands? And we just feel that if anybody can come and, okay, now the tribunal, they are giving 180 days. It's not like you have to wait for the 180 days. It's just that most lawyers like to do a fire brigade approach where everything has to be in a rush. But in other same countries, they ensure that from the first day they file everything that is necessary and strike out the things that are not necessary and continue. Anyone that will not make it to the tribunal for them to sit for hearing, they trash it out if they see that they are, you know, they do not have substantial evidence to back it up. So we are here in Nigeria. Nigeria is very blessed too. Each time I look at how blessed Nigeria is and I see people on comment section abusing themselves from old men who should be resting. So wait, let me ask you a question. You have read about Buhari in the history books and he's still the president of Nigeria. He's still in leadership. Isn't that a thing of concern? Let me tell you, if Nigeria was working, if these people did, okay now, this, you know, Buhari was criticizing Goodluck Jonathan for these same things he's doing. In fact, he's doing worse. And now Buhari, who was criticizing Goodluck, Buhari, Tinubu, and all their APC members, then they were in ACN. They were going around campaigning, carrying placards, doing protests against the Goodluck administration. And we thought that, okay, we should give Buhari the opportunity to lead, that because he has tried severally, he may have been mentally ready and physically fit, not knowing that his second home will be in the UK. We have used Nigerian money to do medical tourism in the UK and other parts of the country, or the part of the world. Are we going to still allow the same thing to happen in this administration, where we give power to somebody who we know that is going to take care of his health first? Can somebody who is not physically fit, or, you know, that is somebody who is not feeling well, can he be able to take care of another person? He will have to take care of himself first. We have good hospitals in Nigeria, but we are not putting enough facilities on ground. Our children do not go to good schools. The ones that are able to go to good schools, you must, a child school fee, one child is 800,000. How much do we earn a month? That in every 3 weeks, every 3 months, you are going to pay 800,000 per child. For those of us who have larger families, so for example, I'm to pay 800,000 times 4 kids. How much is that in every 3 months in Nigeria? And then you'd say parents, a lot of parents who work in ministry should not cut corners. How much is the salary of somebody who works in a civil service? For those who work in state civil service, those who even work in federal civil service, how much is their monthly salary? Their startup salary is 50,000. Okay, now for those who live in Abuja, what accommodation would they have to live in? Okay, if they're now going to live in Niger State, or those who live in, well, Nasarawa State, by the time they go to Abuja for work and they are coming back, the wear and tear of their vehicle, for those who even have vehicle, for those, before they get to the hospital, the offices, they are feeling sleepy. Before they get home, let me tell you something, my dear. Salary is slavery. And that is why, if you are watching this video, I want to tell you that you should begin to think about becoming a content creator, so that you can start earning a passive income online. Because the way this country is going, if you wait for the government to give you a job, you will remain poor. But it is better for you to find something else and leverage on it and start making money, because these politicians, this crop of politicians that are still going in to rule. Okay, now see this man, Atiku wants to still become president after becoming vice president. Meaning that from the look of things, if God allows them to turn Nigeria the way they want to do, meaning that after Tinubu 8 years, Atiku will now come and do 8 years. So all of us, the young ones, before you know it, from 80, you're 80 years old. Before you know it, you're already going to 90. And they are still in leadership. I don't know what we are going to do as young people. So you see a man who is 50 years, he cannot even contest as a president, because the men who are 80, 70, 90 years are still struggling for the same position. And it's not like they want to give us any good leadership. All they want to do is to amass wealth, put their children to travel abroad, buy properties, as if, let me tell you, you can always only live in one house at a time. You can only drive one car at a time. You don't need all this wealth. Make Nigeria better. If you make Nigeria better and you embezzle money, nobody will even care. There is no light. There is no fear. I don't understand. Youths of Nigeria, wake up. These old men are using you. It is not an Igbo versus, it's not an Igbo versus Yoruba war. These people are using you. If they are not using religion, they are using tribalism. Be careful. And be careful the kind of things you say to people, especially those of you who are fighting Peter Obi. You are fighting with fire. You are fighting the wrong person. Who God has blessed, no man can curse.